What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? I'm the Godless Engineer, and typically I'm critically analyzing apologist claims to give you the best arguments and information so that you can stand up and use your voice. But today we are interviewing Joel Reads the Bible. Hey there, Joel. How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Nighttime.
I had a full day of work. I had a full day at work, and now I'm getting to hang out with you and talk to you about where you come from and all this other kind of shit. Which I know that you come from Narnia up there, the
Yeah,
great white north and whatnot.
yeah.
Yeah.
I come from Narnia. Our favorite meal is Turkish delight, which is of course something that Edmund. Did you ever read Narnia, or am I gonna do Narnia references and you're gonna be like, what's he talking about?
I didn't read, but I did watch the movie.
Right. Well, Turkish delight,
That's such
was
an
the
American thing to say.
But today was I am in Canada. I am in it's basically Narnia because of how cold it is, right? And so this is the White Witch era of Narnia in Canada. And my snowblower today, which by the way I haven't had to use this year yet, the carburetor was leaking. Do you know anything about fixing stuff?
I mean, I know about carburetors. I don't know about fixing them though.
Anyway, long story short, my hand smells like gas.
Oh, nice. Don't fart on it.
But then it would
My
just
wife,
smell like more
everybody.
gas.
Don't fart on. Yeah, don't fart on your hands, there, Joel.
Yeah, good. That's good advice. By the way, that's great advice for anybody at any time. Just don't fart on your hand. Like that's great advice. It's incredible advice.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so we are here tonight to get to know Joel. Joel's pretty awesome guy. I've got his I believe it's your distro kid or something like that. It's kind of like a link tree type thing.
Perfect.
But it's got your TikTok. It's got all your stuff down there. So definitely go and check out Joel's links down there. Follow him on TikTok and anywhere else. I probably need to update it with a link to your YouTube, because your YouTube is where you post your Bible reading stuff, which we'll get into here in a minute. But yeah, definitely get that. He's got a great album out that I've used on occasion when people run from me in a live or something like that, or they start saying that words don't mean words and shit. Like those are great. But definitely check that out too. But tonight we're here to get to know Joel, kind of his background and everything like that. And so I guess to start off with, Joel, what was your childhood like as far as like religion goes? Like what role did religion play in your childhood?
Well, I was raised in Canada, but you're not going to believe this. I was basically raised like a Christian nationalist. Like we were super, super conservative, and we learned all of the I learned some American history because, that's what these Americans have this type of curriculum that has all the rhetoric that the Christian nationalists want their new followers to learn. So, yeah, I was raised very, very Christian and very conservative, very sheltered. And I don't know if that, what your upbringing was, if that was similar to you, but we woke up every morning, 7 a.m. and read the Bible, read a little bit of Bible, went to church 2 or 3 times a week, as Christian as you can possibly be. We were a little cult adjacent. Now, I think all of Christianity is a cult, but we were also cult adjacent. Do you remember the Institute, or have you heard of the Institute of Basic Life Principles?
Yes.
Bill
I've got
Gothard.
do you know he goes by do you know Artradish, also known as Chad Harris?
I don't know those names. Maybe they're like a newer generation of the cult. I don't know. That cult's not really around anymore, is it?
Well, no. Kind of, it's dying out. So Chad Harris, he goes by Artradish on TikTok and other social media, but he was in Shiny Happy People. Does that ring a bell?
Oh, I've heard of that.
It's a documentary.
I haven't watched it, but I certainly have heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the season 1 of that, and it's all about IBLP and how, you know, culty it is and how abusive the community is and everything like that. So all this to get around to say, yeah, I've heard of it. Yep.
Yeah, so we like obviously we're in Canada, and so we're not really wherever their foundation is or wherever the cult is centralized. But the church locally, wasn't raised in Toronto, but that was where the church that had them do a conference. There was some sort of weird conference, and so we would go every year and have, you know, Bill Gothard would be there on video, and there, you know, be a kids section, whatever, and all this stuff. But anyway, very culty. We weren't in the like thick of it, but we were certainly cult adjacent. So that was basically my upbringing, what it looked like. Give you a bit of an overview there, like that.
Wow. Yeah, I can't imagine having to do that. I mean, I was raised Catholic-ish. I went to Catholic school as a kid, and I mean, it was heavily like, you know, integrated there with religion, obviously, but like, yeah, I definitely didn't read the Bible like that. I was more of the crowd. So I live in North Alabama, in case you didn't know, and it was more down here. It's more like you go to church to have the Bible read to you. And so obviously they're going to read select portions of it. They're going to have like specific things that they want to teach you, and they cherry pick from the Bible and everything like that. I never really read the Bible like through and through when I was a Christian. It wasn't until after I became a Christian that I started actually reading like the Bible and thinking about it. So, okay, so you're growing up, you're reading the Bible like every day of the week and everything. What was that kind of like for you? Like, was it, did you feel like it was super oppressive or anything like that? Or were you like really into it?
You know what? I think I was in the middle of that. So the reading of the Bible, like, it's so interesting. And as am rereading the Bible as an unbeliever, it's fascinating how little you retain when you're just like sitting there in the morning reading the words. Like you really don't connect to what you're reading in any meaningful way, which is so useless. And so like, yeah, it was annoying because I don't like getting up early. So I was just like, I don't like this, but I didn't feel like it was oppressive. And I also felt like the Christians that I knew in church were usually decent people. And of course, you're raised to think that like Christians are the good ones, and then everyone else is like, you know, the unbelievers. I don't know if we had atheist the way it's used, almost like a slur these days or something, but it's you know, these were the others. So, you know, I felt like it was generally fine. I think that like our family was a little bit you know, what's the word I should look at? There's always going to be family drama, and I think that stemmed from the cult and the teachings of the cult. And so because of those teachings, that added stressors that didn't have to be there if we didn't have that like standard to try to live up to. So that stuff was going on, but you don't notice it when you're in it. So like looking back as a kid, I don't know if I would have necessarily clued into those things, but certainly there was stuff there. This is an interesting thing that people who know apologetics might find fun. Ravi Zacharias. Do you remember the sex offender Ravi Zacharias?
Mm-hmm.
He went to the same church that we went to when I did live in Toronto. I lived there. I was in Toronto till I was 5. And so he was really like almost close with my parents. He eventually moved to the States, but they were supporters of his all throughout his career. And so we were really big into apologetics. We really enjoyed, like, I liked watching Ravi Zacharias preaching videos. I literally enjoyed that. And we got into all the stupid arguments that now we debunk online all the time. So, yeah.
Cool. I mean, yeah, that's it's a pretty interesting experience there with such a prominent, you know, figure in the I guess the preaching scene. What would you say is kind of like, I don't know, I don't know if maybe saying the most fucked up thing that you believed like as a kid or you were taught as a kid, but I'm trying to think of like what was like some of the most extreme stuff that you remember from your childhood as far as like the religious teaching goes?
I think the thing is, it's hard to answer that question objectively in a sense because it's all so normal. But like if I just think about it, it's like the doctrine of hell is insane. Like, and I know that seems like almost trite or cliche or whatever, but like it's literally insane that like God loves everybody, but then he's going to send most people to hell for eternity. Like that's absolutely bonkers. But I was raised with like every Christian idea. This isn't like that crazy necessarily or fucked up or anything like that, but I don't know. It's just a memory that's coming to me, which I remember I went home. This was after I had moved out and whatnot, but I went home and my mom said that like she had been doing some research and she found that there was probably going to be like levels in heaven, you know, like if you did better, you get a higher level and whatever. And that made me so mad. I was just like, I thought the deal was that like, if you're saved, that's it. You don't get more saved. Like, you know, what are you talking about? And it's not even a good thing to think about, like that you could do better. Like you should, well, I thought we were supposed to be humble, you know, like I was just like losing my mind because I thought that it was just like all sins are equal and then all the good stuff is equal. Like you would just all go to heaven. And anyway, I didn't like that, but yeah, no, I believed all the regular fucked up stuff. And I think like one thing that I found once I left the cult is that my empathy like skyrocketed. Like I would probably look at somebody who was unhoused and go, what did they do to deserve that? Right? Like what kind of choices have they made in their lives that have led them to where they are and deservedly so. And I think that that's a fucked up perspective to have. I think it's incredibly rude and, misguided. And so, but you have that free will. People are making their own choices. They want to, they want to do that, or whatever they did, they chose to do it, and that's put them there, and they deserve it. I think that's pretty gross. And so, yeah, I don't have that view anymore now that I've left the cult.
Yeah. Now with the IBLP, I know, well, I don't know it, intimately yet. But from what I remember, in reviewing it in that Shiny Happy People season 1, there was a bit of a develop, like an evolution of the material that was used to teach children in IBLP. And I know that it went from like, this is like, textbook stuff, like this is how you raise your kids, this is how you teach your kids, homeschool your kids, and everything like that. Then eventually transitioned into kind of like a Jack Sparrow, like they're really just guidelines kind of thing. And so I'm kind of curious, like where your experience is at in that. Like, did you grow up in like, this is the textbook, we're going to read from this, and this is what I'm going to teach you and how to live and everything? Or was it on the other extreme, or is it somewhere in the middle?
It was the first one. I think there's this idea that I remember being that like, you can live your whole life biblically. So the Bible has an answer for every aspect of your life. And so they would just think of whatever it would be, how you should you be drinking milk while you're eating meat, for instance, and it's unhealthy to do that, and then try to back that up with medical science. But just like that is, we've got your diet covered, right? And they would do that with every aspect of your life. And so, I think that's the extreme version. When you're a kid, they're pretty good at, doing fun kid stuff. You would do what is your spiritual gift tests and stuff like that, where you're just having a good time, and there's some stories that you get to hear and stuff like that. But ultimately, it is like legalistic, and you have to follow these. Well, you got to live biblically. the way Bill Gothard and his team have decided the interpretation of whatever they think the Bible says. So yeah, I think I was in the pretty intense version of that. But again, we're not in the community properly, so we got a watered down version of it because it was just like my mom trying to do the basic life of the whatever Institute of Basic Life Principles in our house. So it was a little bit more watered down, I think. And we'd also push back because we're kids and we're just like, this is weird, like we'd also be like a little bit like, just kids, and she would have to wrestle with that.
Well, like did you like have to suffer anything because you pushed back? Because I know like there are some congregations that like take that seriously, then there are others that are like, we'll just kick you out of the group.
Well, like not from the basic like because we were, again, like there was no accountability with the organization. She was just taking the stuff from the organization and using it. So we were completely like an independent like family type of thing. But yeah, like we would you get in trouble if you lipped off, but not in any, like we were still, it was generally fine. I got spanked, but which I think is 100% wrong, and I don't want to downplay it. I think that's child abuse, but it wasn't one of those, like there wasn't these like really heinous, horrendous kind of stories that you hear.
I mean, I'm really happy about that, for one, because we know we have some friends that were part of IBLP that had the very opposite experience there of suffering a bunch of abuse and the IBLP stuff. I'm glad that you didn't have to suffer any of that. Did you like while you were in the cult at that time? Did you notice anything that was like particularly abusive? I mean, other than teaching kids about hell and all that kind of shit. Like was there anything overtly abusive that you kind of rationalized away that you since sort of like reconsidered?
I think that like this is going to be very like indirect, kind of subtle, but I remember we had a cassette tape, which I'm sure came through the Institute, and it said like something about how to handle the rebellion of the firstborn. And even then, and I would have been like a preteen or a teen, I was just like, why are we expecting this to happen? Why are they, and I was thinking about my big brother, and I'm like, I think it's like, obviously he's going to rebel if you're going to expect it. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy at a certain point where you're like going to start treating him a certain way, which is probably going to get him to kick off, because he'll be like, what are these extra boundaries and parameters you're going to set on me because of this stupid cassette? Like you're creating unrest. And at the time I even thought like, I don't think this is right. I don't think this is the right perspective to have when you're raising children. And I was the child. So, it should have been pretty obvious to the adults, like this is stupid, but that's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay. Now I know that you said that you were pretty independent and sort of yes with the IBLP stuff, but were there any like I say this from my experience of like having like Bible studies that were like specifically targeted to adolescents, like teen Bible studies or Bible study groups. Did you have any kind of like church groups or anything like that you participated in?
Yeah, of course. We had our the churches that we went to, like we, changed over the years, but we had like youth group, your like younger youth group, whatever, junior youth, I don't know, junior youth, I think they called it. And then your regular youth group when I got older. And, it was usually pretty, I don't know, it's hard to be objective about it again because it seemed very normal to me. But they were less conservative. Like we went to churches that were just like normal Christian people, but we were the more extreme Christian people. So anything that was going on there, I mean, there was a weird one in when I went to youth group where this couple, just a random couple in the church, they were doing some sort of like sex ed like, let's talk about sex night. And it was really weird. It was
when that random couple at the Bible study looks over at you.
They're like, let's talk about this. And it was like, they were really playing up the like heavy regret that they felt from the sexual experiences they had. And I shouldn't laugh about, like, there was some crying that they were doing. I think some of it was like theatrical. I don't really believe that they were as bummed out about it as they were playing it up. But what I took away from that was, which is one of these like horrible things that happens in the church. I don't know if you remember rhetoric like this, but women are not going to want to sleep with you. Women do not enjoy sex. They don't want to have sex with you. Men have to try to coerce women into having sex, and that you should wait until you're married till you start coercing them. They never said that last part, but that was kind of what gets in your head, because it's always the role of the woman is to stop the man from sleeping with them. And these are the ways men are going to try to manipulate women into sleeping with them. And as a kid, you're just like, okay, all right, so women hate sex and men are dogs. Like, you know, which when you become an adult, it's a little different than that, you know. But yeah, so really weird stuff, really weird repressive BS. So that's typical church stuff, though. I think most Christians probably relate to that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I didn't actually have any kind of like sex ed stuff when I was at like either in any of the churches or the Catholic Church or anything like that, which, you know, kind of tracks for the Catholic Church. They don't want kids knowing, you know, what all that is. They'd rather demonstrate it. Right. But I feel like that in my head, that's kind of a psychotic scene if you're talking about like this couple that's up there and they're explaining this to like the children or whatnot, and they have to psychotically like laugh like, yeah, I really don't want to sleep with him. And he's like, she really doesn't. I have to coerce her.
That's like, not exactly how it was played out. What we did was we'd have to do. So they were crying. She was crying about, you know, an experience. Actually, you know, hers, for some reason, I feel like, maybe there was something to hers that was more, because, like, you know, I want to believe her story. He was very emotional, but I'm like, you were bummed about whatever had gone on. But it was more that they like had us do role play. This is really funny, because we had to do skits, and it was that a girl, like you would go to try to coerce a girl, I guess, you know, and you had a bit of like a script, like, if you'll love me, you'll have sex with me type of script, you know. Have you heard any lines like that? And then the girl would have to role play how she's gonna say.
Used it, yeah.
Personally, haven't said that one, but the girl would have to, like, you know, role play how she would push back against that. And I think I had to play the role at one point, and this was really weird, of a guy who was kind of confessing to having slept with somebody the night before and feeling like incredible regret about it. And so I just really played it up, and I was just like, I can't believe I did that. You know, it was really weird. It's just weird, you know, to like put people in those positions. And then, like, I don't know what we were meant to learn, but it certainly was repressive. So I guess they nailed it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of seems that way. I mean, I don't know. I really don't like how any of the church congregations or whatnot really handle the whole sex topic. And I mean, they typically don't, like, they typically criticize it when, you know, you have any kind of like secular sort of sex education, and trying to portray it as like, you know, oh, they don't need to hear this thing. But then you know, I hear stories like yours about in church and everything, and I'm just like, what are they complaining about again? Are they complaining about kids getting like real sex education? Because I kind of feel like that's probably what they're complaining about.
That's it. They're all they want. They want abstinence. They want abstinence training, and that's it. And it's such a like it's just never going to work. people are going to want to, John, people are going to want to find.
No, yeah. Even the girls, yes. Honey.
Even the girls.
That's a surprise for any of those boys.
Even the girls.
It's like, wait, hold on.
What?
But before we continue on, I do want to let everybody know that I did update the description with Joel's YouTube tag. Like, I got a tag in there. You just hit that tag and you can subscribe to Joel. If you want to do that and then come right back, please do. But I just thought I'd let everybody know that it's in there. Definitely go subscribe to him. You're at about 18K I saw over there. So, but we need to pump them numbers 14, up because I watched a few of your videos today, which oh, you got 14?
Yeah, it's nice to say 18. And maybe after this live, we'll have 18. But yeah, it's currently 14.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. I don't know why my dyslexia fucked me up. That's probably not a dyslexia thing. But I did watch a few of your Bible reading videos today, which I'll say more than what you've done for me. But not to lay any kind of guilt trip on you.
No, I have such short-term memory loss. I've watched every single of your videos. It's just short-term memory. You know what? I always watch it live. That's the problem.
Yeah,
I always
exactly.
watch it live on the line. I never watch the clips.
Yeah. No, I gotcha. Yeah. Well, yes, honey, we do have a Bible podcast. Have you ever heard of the Daily Bible?
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite. You guys, that's you guys? That's my favorite pod. Is that your podcast?
No. So it is called the Daily Bible Podcast, but no, the Bible I'm talking about is called the Daily Bible. And it basically breaks the Bible up into like 365 sections that you can read. So you can like read one a day and then read the entire Bible in a year.
Yes. Yeah, of course. Read the Bible in a year. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of. So we've got a podcast. We're currently where we left off like a year ago was the last week of Jesus, on Earth, and so like we haven't picked it back up again, but we plan on it.
That's interesting. Like, so when you guys are doing that, because I remember those like read the Bible in a year things while I was a Christian, that there would always be like you could get those devotionals or whatever they are and read and they'll follow along. So when you're doing that, you're jumping around to all sorts of different sections of the Bible, and are they trying to like take cross references from like the Old Testament and apply them to whatever's happening in the New Testament, and then you're reading all of that at one time? Is that the goal?
No. So in the Daily Bible, it literally just takes the entire Bible and it chunks it up into 365 sections as.
So you're reading
it's chronological.
You're reading it in order. Okay, well that's great. I think there's other ones that are more like jump around, and that's always kind of deceptive to me. But yeah, if they're doing it in order, that's a lot better. I think that's great.
Oh yeah, and so I think the only stuff that we really skipped was anything that was not story related. So like the Psalms, where it's just a whole bunch of like singing and prayers and stuff, sucking on God's dong. We just kind of skipped that, but we did do that. Sorry, all of this was to try to support Joel here, and I got his fucking subscribers wrong, and that's so embarrassing for me. Okay. But definitely go subscribe to Joel. So now let's talk about your deconstruction. So you were in IBLP, pretty hardline cult. It seems like, and so we progressing of that. At what point did things start to crumble for you, or at what point did you start to like sort of question what you had been taught?
So this is a long it's kind of like. I don't know how it was for you, but deconstruction for me was very behind the scenes in my own, like subconscious, I think. So I stopped going to church basically as soon as I moved out because I just didn't want to wake up in the morning. And I also like felt as though I know this stuff. Like I've had the Bible, we've read the Bible like through, I'm sure a million times. I've been to so many sermons. I've watched all these, professional apologists, everything. I know the stuff. I know it. I don't need to go again. I'm not learning anything new. So I stopped attending church, which this is when the Christians will say I was never a Christian. But anyway, I stopped attending church, but I still considered myself a Christian. I still believed the stuff. I still believed in Jesus. I still wanted to spread the ideas of Jesus and Christianity. I thought that they were the good ideas. And everything else was like the world and bad. Like I genuinely was like as Christian as the Christians are Christian, you know what I mean? And so I would not attend church, but I still enjoyed watching debates online, you know, and I was reading. I would read a few books that would solidify my faith. A couple of those books were G.K. Chesterton's Heretics and Orthodoxy. I really enjoyed reading those, and these were like they solidified. I was like, yeah, Christianity makes sense, you know. But it was like years later, actually, I think around COVID, and I know that COVID did made a lot of seismic shifts in a lot of lives for people. For me, it was like at some point, and I think it's because I watched a lot of debates, and when you listen to Christopher Hitchens and, you know, other people like completely demolish Christianity, even though you're on William Lane Craig's side, you still hear the arguments, you know? And so those things got into my head. And eventually I was like, yeah, this stuff doesn't make sense. And certain stories started to just like unravel for me, and the spell broke. We can get into how that looked if you want, but that's the moment was around.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I definitely do want to drill down into that a little bit, but we do have a couple of super chats. So this is Archradish, who I was telling you about earlier. Chad in chat, he's a fellow IBLP kid as well. He had a bit of a different experience than you did, but anyways, Archradish says $10 for Joel's best insult of Bill Gothard.
All right. Stop playing with chalk, you fucking idiot. How about that? Bill Gothard did a lot of chalk drawing.
Did he?
Yeah, one of his things was once a conference, there would be a video where like he's doing chalk drawings and doing this like, you know, eloquent sort of diatribe of some kind. And then when he's done the chalk drawing, they would change the lights so you would see the image that he's been working on the whole time. And it was just really, you know, magical or whatever. And it was like Jesus or something. And so, yeah, stop playing with chalk, child. Nailed it.
Yeah, a little update here. Archrider says, perfection. Fun fact, he almost electrocuted himself in one of those chalk talks.
That's great. Chalk talks. That's true. I think that's what they were called. So stupid.
Yeah. I did notice somebody was criticizing me, and I don't know if maybe it's just where I'm at on the spectrum, but they were talking about how your name is actually pronounced Joel. Is that like an inside thing, or is that like
that's an inside thing? Yeah. Yeah. That's a question. It's Joel.
Okay, just making sure. It feels like an inside thing.
People can pronounce my name however they want. It's fine.
Okay, I like pronouncing you like you're somebody from Krypton. So it's Des123 says Joel told me to send this pound to make him look good. You know, honestly, I'm surprised people haven't sent a super chat to get you to tell Mezzo something, you know, to you or something. I've seen that constantly do.
It's because Mezzo and I are both like so hard to get a hold of that they need to do super chats to the other person, because it's just like impossible to find us on the internet.
Oh shit. We got and then we got another super chat, G-Force, that says, "Hey GE, take good care of Joel. Don't ask him about his wet box."
Yeah,
it's a whole thing. So, so what's about this wet box? Also, thank you so much for that giant super chat there, G-Force. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the super chats. I don't want anybody to feel disrespected or anything. But anyways, so what's this wet box thing?
You're not supposed to ask me about it. That's what you were just told not to ask me about it. Yeah, have you not heard about the wet box? This is going to get into
what about
apologetics. Do you want to move into
no,
the
I mean, what about me says that
later.
I follow the rules? Yeah,
I'm edgy.
Yeah, we'll get to the counter appellate. I'll definitely pin that. Yeah,
make a note. Make a note.
I'll get to that here in a second.
Sorry.
Yeah, wet box. I got it right here. Wet box.
The wet box is going to come up at some point. Like I'll bring it up if you don't.
Okay. Gretchen says, "Hey GE, tell Bill he's doing great."
Thanks, Bill.
Bill?
Yeah.
Gretchen Thank you, Bill. I don't know who the fuck.
Gretchen pronounces my name Bill, and so now I'm calling her Bill. It's a whole thing.
Oh, okay. All right. And then there's Chopper Lie who says, "Can you tell Joel I said hi, Joel? Hi, Joel."
Up to you. Do you want to do that? Are you going to do it?
Chopper Lie says hi.
Okay. Hi, Chopperly.
Yeah. What?
I just didn't know that you were going to do what she said.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I pretty much just follow what I'm told. So Orpha Lehman says, breaking news: YouTube deleted Seth Andrews' channel. Yeah, that was something that happened. Huh?
Seth will be fine.
Seth will be fine. He's. Do you know Seth Andrews?
Yeah. So YouTube deleted his channel.
Yeah, they deleted it for like spam and stuff. He's kind of got like a little feud going on with a shithead online. So I think that's probably the result of that.
Oh, geez.
It's not even a feud. It's just a disgruntled asshat who Seth won't give the time of day.
It's a disgruntled failed nuclear engineer? Yes, I agree. Ass. Oh, sorry, asshat. Same thing. Okay, so yeah, let's let's get into if y'all do more super chats, we'll get to the next like break in like the discussion, and then we'll do super chats. Okay, I appreciate all the super chats coming in though. Y'all are fantastic. So we were gonna go a bit deeper into like what it looked like for you to sort of deconstruct and leave, and what exactly caused you, like if they I guess we were just talking about diving a bit deeper into that kind of subject. So I'm wondering where do we go from there with you?
So I started just like, and it feels so random, like I'm just living my life. I'm not particularly thinking about Christian things usually, but it's something that I believe. I generally consider myself a Christian or what have you. But then this one day, and I did start pushing back on certain ideas around COVID time, and people would say different things like there's only one true God, and I'd be like, is there? There was just little cracks. But the thing that like was this like main moment for me, the Oprah aha moment, was the story of Abraham and Isaac. I went back and I just like remembered the story. I was thinking about it, and I was like, so this ram is materialized in the thicket. You remember the story, John? Abraham's going to go kill Isaac.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's a pretty big story where Abraham's going to kill Isaac. But the important thing for me was that like right before he kills him, God says, "Stop! Don't do it. Over there's a ram in the bush. Just kill that instead." And I thought to myself, well, why? Why kill the ram in the bush? This isn't a sacrifice for Abraham. Like Abraham didn't do anything to have a ram. Like he didn't raise the ram. He's not losing anything. He's just arbitrarily killing something unnecessarily because God's like, oh, I want to see this thing die. And when I was a Christian, I was always told, or I remember being taught that the ram kind of represents Jesus. Jesus is like the sacrificed lamb or sacrificed ram. And so this is sort of a typology for the Jesus story. And I was like, well, if that's true, then that's telling me that Jesus' sacrifice is useless and arbitrary, or unnecessary and arbitrary. It didn't have to happen. And if it didn't have to happen, what are we doing here? Like, how is this a message of love? This is a message of stupidity. Like, why would he do that? And since then I've started saying this. I go, it's not heroic to jump in front of the bullet if you've also fired the gun, and but that was kind of the impetus of that idea. And I was just like, I can't. And it's like, why would God send himself to kill himself for himself? Like that whole thing. But for me, it came through the story of Abraham and Isaac. So that was the beginning of it. And then I started, asking around, mainly to my parents. I would be like, why the problem of suffering came up, and I would ask questions about that. I'd ask questions about the book. I'd ask questions about how billions of souls in hell is reasonable collateral damage for God to have a bunch of people genuinely love him, if that's the reason why we have the free will and all the suffering in the world. And I also had this problem of pleasure, where like the things that give us the most amount of like mental reward, right? Like the hardcore substances that you can do, are the most harmful. So why would God create a world where the thing that makes you feel the best is the thing that's going to kill you? That doesn't seem to make sense, right? It's like an extra level to the problem of suffering. And so all of these things were kind of these problems that I found. And then I started asking, and I found like there were no good answers. Like there were literally no answers. And I was just like, what is happening here? Why? Like I was expecting, like, at least from my parents, because we were raised with these apologetics, right? With like these defenses for the faith and all those things. It was like radio science. There was literally nothing. There was literally no good argument to any of my concerns. I was just like, I can't believe that. And so really quickly, when the spell had broken, like within, it might be a year, to be honest, I was like done. I was right out. And I also had the help of, like, I watched a lot of Mindshift. Have you heard of Mindshift? Brandon over at Mindshift. I watched a lot of his videos and a lot of other stuff online, and Matt Dillahunty and stuff like that. And so like there was a lot of other stuff that was helping me think through the stuff. But yeah, I was absolutely done. So that was basically the deconstruction chapter.
Yeah. So what would that be like a light switch for you as far as that goes? Like the deconstruction happened, like, or I guess the flip to not believing in a God happened quickly, or did it take you a while, like, to get to the point where you were admitting that you were an atheist or coming to the atheist position?
I think it started, like I say, I think it started subconsciously. My brain did a lot of the work for me. Weird to say. And then, when I started realizing that I was like questioning this stuff, it was pretty quick. And that's why I describe it, and other people have described it as the spell breaking. And once that spell breaks and you're like, wait a second, this might just be the same as all the other cults and these beliefs that they don't have anything to them. As soon as that happened, I did double check, like I think I stopped believing, kind of thing. Like I was like, I think this is not true. I'm pretty sure I've been duped. I'm pretty sure I've been duped my whole life. So I'm like, okay, I don't think this is real, but I had to double check. And that's why I like talked to my parents, and I don't know that I talked to, like, they're really the most Christian people, right, in my life, and that I'm closest to. So I went and reached out to them, and then double checked by watching YouTube videos and searching this stuff. And, at that point you just kind of like do as much listening and like watching videos and things that you can, because you're kind of really hungry for this stuff. And and those things solidified my unbelief, I guess. And that happened really quickly. But then I would just refer to myself as ex-Christian. Even when I started my YouTube channel and started doing things a lot, I only refer to myself as an ex-Christian because I wasn't confident to say atheist. Now I'll say atheist, but that took a little longer than just saying like, oh yeah, I don't believe in the Christian God anymore, you know?
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, admitting that I was an atheist, that was sort of the biggest hurdle that I had to get over in my deconstruction. Coming to terms with that, because I had been raised up thinking that, you know, that like godless people were bad, or like people that didn't believe in the Christian God were, you know, bad or couldn't be trusted or something like that. So like, you know, growing up in that kind of environment, it was really difficult for me to get over that. I didn't really have trouble getting over like any of the teachings of Christianity, but I'm kind of curious about you. Were there any specific teachings that you had trouble sort of deconstructing from?
I don't know. Like when it was happening, it was just like, because I say like the spell broke and it unraveled really quickly. And I, you know, it was just like, I was really fine with getting rid of it. But I think the thing that took so long to get there was ironically the moral argument. And it's I think ironic because of just how piss poor the moral argument is. It's the worst argument that Christians have. But boy, like, and
oh wait, hold on, I got to push back on you. I got to push back on you, Joel, about
fair.
that. So, sorry for interrupting, but I got to push back on you. Pascal's wager? You think the moral argument is worse than Pascal's?
I don't know if a wager could be considered an argument. I feel like Pascal's wager isn't an argument. It's just a dumb thing to say. It doesn't have premises. It goes, but what if you're wrong? It's more of a question. But yeah, they're all bad. But
yeah.
But yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
This one was particularly bad. But it meant a lot to me because of Ravi Zacharias. And I went back after I was out and I like watched a video or two of his just to be like, what was I so enamored with? And he like played up the like, this world will be complete and utter chaos without the objective moral standard that we need, right? And the objective moral standard that God apparently gives us somewhere and somehow. I don't know where it is. I don't know how we access it, but apparently it's here, and it's what's keeping us from constantly having, you know, the holocausts everywhere, right? And so when you're like in the church, you're like, yeah, we need that. Yeah, we need that, right? And so that's why I was like, oh, I need the objective moral. If there's no objective moral standard, there has to be an objective lawgiver, or else, you know, everything's like insane. And so I think that was the sort of like last, what do we do with that sort of thing? And as soon as I realized like, yeah, maybe it would be nice to have that. Maybe it would be good if we had that. We don't. Like, we just don't. And there's like, we can't access, if it does exist, we can't access it. It's really just a claim and a theory, or a hypothesis, if you will. So until we have any sort of like access to the objective moral standard, then there's no reason to talk about it. Like, you know, and as soon as I sort of realized that was that piece that I was also, okay, there's nothing to Christianity now.
Okay. That's kind of interesting. Like when I encountered the moral argument, I was just sort of like confused by it. I had never heard like any kind of formal argumentation for Christianity. It wasn't until after I deconstructed that I started like actually diving into the apologetics of it, which I got a note here about the whole apologetics things. I'm supposed to ask about your wet box.
Oh, interesting. We're ready to talk about that. That has nothing to do with morality. No, but yeah, I didn't. the moral argument, I'm sure the moral argument was presented to me as an argument at some point, because we were, like I say, we were in the apologetic world. You know, I did enjoy apologetics, listening to and learning about apologetics, but it wasn't what I internalized. It wasn't in an argument form. It was in a preaching form. It was in a, like, scaring you and scaring the congregation into thinking that the world will implode without this objective moral standard Christians claim to have. That scare tactic had worked. It had found its way into my whole being, because I just couldn't accept a world I couldn't accept a world where we can't point to the Holocaust and say it's wrong. And I thought we needed a magical objective moral standard somewhere out there to do that. And that wasn't in a syllogistic argument or something like that. That was just like, that was something I felt, right? And that's how they do that. That's why it's not a good argument, but because they make you feel a certain way about it, they make Christians, scared. They're going to think that it's necessary, and they're going to think that they need it. So that's how that was. But you want to hear, the wet box is a counter apologetic to basically the Kalam cosmological argument.
Oh, okay. Now I'm interested. I'm wondering how Kalam cosmological fits into the wet box, and I'm waiting for that.
Yeah.
Do we need lube for it?
Yeah, it's already wet, and that's the great news about the box. The Kalam, I don't know if it's any sort of argument, and I think it's just the Kalam, where you say there can't be an infinite regression. There has to be, like, something that started everything, right? So what we try to do is come up with counter apologetics to things, and in this case, it's a bit of a parody argument, but it's just highlighting, and this is like the most boring way to deliver it. Is just highlighting that you can put anything in the gape. We have gapes in our knowledge. The God of the gapes. That we have got all these, like, fucking gaping holes in our knowledge, and yeah. And so what they do is they shove God into these gapes. Have you noticed this? Like, they'll like, the Christians, and throughout all time, we've been, like, shoving God into all these gapes. And the best thing to do, like what we've done with science, it's violent. And what we've done with science is we've, like, gotten those gapes tighter and tighter and tighter. Now we know how the sun works. We don't need a sun god. So God gets squeezed out of that gape, and the gape, becomes too tight for God now. And so we don't need to fill that gape with God. Well, the one gape we still have is what happened prior to the Big Bang, right? How did everything start? If it started, we don't know that it did, but if it started, how did it start? So, we can argue an infinite regress, right? We could argue like a infinite universe or whatever, and that's cool. I'm partial to those types of things. I don't know that very much about it. I'm not really a science guy, but I'm like, okay, if you have to have something that started it, it could be, and this is a new hypothesis that's gaining traction, a fairly dilapidated, pretty wet cardboard box that's magic. Everything.
Sorry, I got distracted by a comment.
Mm-hmm. Everything sprung out of it. Don't worry about the comment. Everything sprung out of it in a magical way, and that's what got everything started. So that's just it. And you're not going to believe this. I'm not a hack. You're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this, John. There's just as much evidence for a wet cardboard box as there is for God. Maybe even more, actually, evidence for a wet cardboard box. Yeah. I can. Do you want me to present the evidence?
I feel. Do you have a graphic?
We do. There's
yeah,
graphics.
I do. I'm very interested in that, but also, there are graphics for it. Because I'm like, I could do a graphic for a wet box, and but you know, there's
if you can do a PG graphic or like,
yeah, I can. But so yes, what's the evidence for the wet box? We're gonna do the evidence for the wet box, and then there's a few super chats that I need to read because they're fucking giant.
All right, so this is just showing you that there's more evidence for a wet box than for whatever a God that spoke the universe into existence. Where were you, how did you come to planet Earth? Like, how are you here? Where did you come from? Where did you come from?
My mom.
Your mom, exactly. So you know that life does spring forth from wet boxes. And your evidence of that, and that's happened billions of times because you sprang forth from, of course, your mom's wet box, and so life comes from wet boxes, and in this case, it's of course a cardboard wet box, not exactly like cardboard that we know of here, but yeah, so that there's no evidence for people being spoken into existence. That's stupid, but there is evidence for life coming forth from a wet box. So anyway, that debunks Kalam.
No, I totally love that, and that's that. We're gonna get into the whole your not tactic, but your style, conversational style here in a second.
Can you put up Chad's
I do.
Put up Archradish Ben Shapiro.
Archradish Ben Shapiro's wife is excluded from this conversation. Okay, so we I do have a few. So G4 says, Joel, please tell Mezzo to stop interrupting you. Thanks, babes. Jezzo, please.
Gotta text him or something. I don't know if I have to do. I don't know if I can do that live.
He's in the side chat.
I don't even have this open.
Oh, you should be able to through StreamYard, but I mean, I get it if you want to ignore him.
I do want to. Oh wait, comment.
Gretchen says GE. Gretchen says GE. Please tell Mezzo to be nice to Bill. Bill already flubbed his first line. Don't make him nervous again. So Mezzo in the comments, be nice to Bill out there. I think Joel. I mean, you can appreciate being nice to Bill, right? Whoever.
What did Bill I flub? What did I flub, Bill?
I know Bill is him.
The fuck did I flub? I don't know what I flubbed.
My mom doesn't have sleeves either. Yep. She was born without sleeves, just like me. G4 says, hey, so sorry, but can you tell Joel to tell Mezzo that we're out of milk and carrots? So
okay, what is happening here?
I get the feeling that G-Force here is the one that does this.
G-Force, you can tell him that. Okay, I don't know. He's probably sitting beside him.
Mezzo doesn't care about milk and carrots because Mezzo said to eat shit.
Oh, apparently Mezzo said to eat shit. I don't know.
What?
Oh, here, I'm trying to find it right now.
Who did he tell that to?
Just generally.
Oh, he just said, in general.
It was a recommendation. He's just like, hey, FYI, guys, eating shit is as an option.
Purple and blue circle.
Yeah, I don't see Mezzo's. Anyways, Mezzo got lost in this bullshit.
Yeah, I saw him calling me a hack. So, yeah, so funny, Mezzo.
Kitten Kills Zoo just sent in $1. Thank you so much there for Kitten Kills. I saw Kitten Kills over there on Twitch. We're also streaming on Twitch, just in case you didn't know.
Cool.
But there was also limited light who says, guess I'm late or some shit. Thank you so much, Limited Light, for being here. Thank everybody for the super chats. Y'all are awesome. Mezzo, I hope you stick around for a little bit. So I'm sure we'll get into talking more about Mezzo. Okay, so out of the counter apologetics thing, I guess a little bit. I have a couple of questions, like reflective questions that I generally ask people, and you've kind of already answered one, but I may get you to repeat yourself. The first question though is like, looking back on your time as a Christian or whatnot, do you what kind of advice would you give yourself, like when you were like deep into the faith? Like if you could talk to yourself, and ideally this is like you talking to somebody that's going through the same kind of stuff, what would you say? What kind of advice would you give to your former Christian and indoctrinated self?
Like kind of like, how would I get myself out of it, I assume? Because I think the advice would be run, just like, I guess you would, if I still live at home, I think it'd be like, keep your nose down, don't like rock the boat or anything like that, but get out when you can, and move on from the cult as soon as possible. Like just move on from it. Don't think about it. Just let it go and just live your life. And, don't think, I when I left, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't do any, I don't know if I would have done anything super differently than I did. I think maybe I would have tried to tell myself to be less bigoted. I wasn't a massive bigot, but I certainly had bigoted ideas. So I think I'd be like, why are you believing this bullshit? You know what I mean? Like, stop thinking that shit is correct. Move on. So yeah, I think that those are the types of things. But I'd be like, get out of the cult. And I think once you're out of the cult, the other stuff just kind of comes with that, or at least you hope.
No, yeah, I totally agree about that. I think that's great advice for somebody that's going through that. And then, like, what would you tell somebody that's just recently deconstructed and is kind of like really feeling their place out, like their worldview out? They're just trying to figure out what they do now.
What I did, and I think I do a lot of things more just like without thinking too much about it. I'm like in the community of trying to get people out of the cult all the time. Not everyone has to do that, obviously. I think the good thing to do is to be very practical. One thing I did think of while we were talking earlier, I'll share it here. I was raised within the Satanic Panic, which a lot of people will remember that time. And I remember a story where there was this family, and this was the type of sensational stuff that I had to hear when I was a kid. There was this story where this family moved into a house, and the one bedroom was always cold. The rest of the house warm, whatever, it's fine. But the one room was always super cold, and they checked for leaks to outside. No leaks. There's no reason why this room would be cold. And then one day, I don't know why they hadn't noticed this, but in the closet, they found a guitar. And that guitar was owned by some sort of rock star. And it was some like Alice Cooper or someone evil, right? And that rock and roll guitar had a demon in it. And as soon as they like prayed over the guitar or removed the guitar, the room was warm. It was able to be warmed up. So there was just this evil spirit in the guitar cooling down the room. And this is like insane, obviously, just like spiritual warfare, angels and demons. When you believe that stuff and you believe there's a God watching and all those things, it's absolutely insane. So when you deconstruct, just get really practical with it. Like just experience your practical real life that you're having. You wake up in the morning, you have an alarm, eat food, drive your car, put gas in it, whatever, go to work, spend time with people. But just like, don't look for the spiritual stuff. Don't think about the prayer stuff. Like, just avoid all of that and be very practical, because you've believed in magical things for your whole life. You're convinced of insane things. So I think a good way of dealing with that is just to be really practical. Just slow down and just live your real, actual life.
I think that's that's fantastic advice. I know after deconstructing, I definitely I guess I slowed down a little bit, although sorry, I'm doing multiple things right now for a little prize for you. I was doing multiple things at the time, but I know me, like it especially helped me to slow down with being overly concerned with a number of things, like going to heaven or hell, and just various things like that. Of course, I know and maybe this is a good next question, before I show you my present that I just generated for you. Well, I had a number of things like outside of religion that was probably due to religion, or like tangentially related to religion, that I had to deconstruct from, like misogyny and not really homophobia, but like I guess misconceptions about the LGBTQ plus community and all this other stuff. I had to really deconstruct from that kind of thing. And I'm wondering if you similarly had to deconstruct from things that were sort of like, I guess, really more concerned with like conservatism.
Yeah, for sure. That was part of it. I was raised bigot, and so I did think that homosexuality was like a lifestyle. I learned like this was something that you don't think about all these different aspects. So I thought homosexuality was a lifestyle and it was a sin, but hate the sin, love the sinner, all of this type of rhetoric that's really, really harmful and horrible. And even when I started doing lives, I remember saying, calling homosexuality a lifestyle, and people were like, it's not a lifestyle, it's not a lifestyle. And I was like, oh yeah, fuck, what, like, what? Of course not. Like, it's not a chosen lifestyle, it's not like being a goth. I feel like goth is a lifestyle. I don't know if you feel that way about goth, but I feel like goth would be a lifestyle, or emo, but it's a sexuality, it's who a person is. And so yeah, these are stupid ideas that I certainly had to deconstruct, because I had the worst possible ideas, right?
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, and I mean, I would definitely consider goth, emo to be lifestyle choices there. I want to talk about next. I want to talk about your conversational style. Now that we've kind of gotten your backstory and everything like that, how you deconstructed, and some really good advice for people that may be deconstructing or are. I know in the chat, for some reason, I've seen people trying to debate us, like in the chat, like just a few people.
Bring
and it's
up.
like crazy. It's
bring
like we're doing an interview.
No, bring them up.
Yeah. But so there's this super chat that says wet box or get the fuck out. And I have to say, I mean, I'm not an artist, so like I got help from a machine, but I just wanted to present
what this. A sad box.
Like I mean, you're talking about birthing the universe, and so like the wet cardboard box, it looks totally destroyed.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it.
Oh my goodness,
totally rough right here.
Part of it is probably
it sits on my head.
It's probably also that the wet box is like seeing what it birthed, and it's just like, man, look at it's a fucking mess down there. And it's really upset about it. Now, one thing I need to be very clear with, and I the wet box is not sentient. It does not, like, that's where the AI got it wrong. It doesn't have a face. It is not a intelligent being. It's just a magic box. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So it's not a replacement for God. This is a very
it definitely
thing.
got it wrong.
Yeah, it's not a replacement for God. This is a very common mistake. It's not equivalent to God. It's completely different. It's showing that the beginning of the universe doesn't have to be an all-powerful, all-knowing, all-good personal God. It could just be a wet cardboard box that's magic.
Okay, I can definitely fix.
Can you
that.
fix
But,
it? Can you get it fixed? Thanks.
Yep. I was gonna say, I feel like the next question, as far as the wet box goes, is who made that box wet?
Yeah, this is one of those confusing things, right? Like the box has always been wet. So the thing about the box, which by the way is cardboard, but it's not really cardboard. It's like a cardboard type of thing that's like not like the cardboard we have here, but it's the only way we can really anthropomorphize it is by referencing it as cardboard. But it is also wet and slightly dilapidated. This is just how you can think of it, and it just makes sense that way. And it's not special pleading. It's not just special pleading and saying that like it is that, but it's not like that. It's not like that. In no way is that like God. Like for instance, when they say God is outside of time, even though you would need time to create, it must be just a different kind of time, and God's different, so He's allowed to do that, even though it doesn't make any sense. It's nothing like that. But for a wet cardboard. Wink, wink.
Yeah. Here, how's this?
Perfect. Perfect. Flawless. That's it. That's the box.
All right. Print it. I'm going to put it on a shirt. Ask me about my wet box. That's what I'm going to put on the shirt.
That's beautiful. That's a great shirt idea, actually. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So we've got another super chat. Orpha Layman again says, raised in the satanic panic. I thought you were 26.
Yeah, I am. I was very young at the time, but also it was just like there was a what's it called? Like when a layover, not a layover, but you know where it's like it bleeds into the younger people. You know, it was after the say. Shut up. Can I just say shut up? Don't challenge me. I'm young.
Yeah. Well,
I wasn't.
Right.
My mom was a late bloomer. They did it. They did it in the 2000s. Shut up. Shut up. Can we delete that one? Is there a way to delete that? Just edit it out. Just edit it out for the
not live, but I can later. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Well, no, so I mean, I was going to explain, like moving through that particular community, it's probably like, you know, the Eastern Europe, like they're just now getting like, you know, Power Rangers or something over there.
Like how Kentucky just now.
Yeah.
Early 2000s music.
Oh yeah, Kentucky has early 2000s.
That's how Canada is. That's how Canada
receives
exactly.
the Satanic Panic.
We just in our theaters we just had Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Prince is on there right now.
I went way too far back.
Let's see. Scratch and Prophet says, "Why is Joel lying? He's only in his mid to early late 20s and he didn't just."
That's true.
Panic.
That's true. I'm not lying. It was. What is the word? It just lasted. Shut up. Why are we talking about? Can we move on? I'm obviously in my mid to late 20s.
Right. So the Thor versus Darwin says Joel recently inherited half the life savings of a caller, so giving some money to you instead. GE. Oh, what you inherited half of the life savings?
Yeah. It was 1977, not the year. $19.77, and and then I refunded it. So I don't have that money, guys. I felt bad.
Oh man. Yeah. I'd feel bad too. I don't blame you. Shishito 5 says, please tell Mezzo to pivot from hate to love. By the way, if you haven't seen Born Again Atheist pivot video, it is a must see. I've heard if you get stuck in the dilvit, you're fucked.
I was on Born Again last night, and I have on pretty good authority that she might post a video that I've been up there, because I was up there before Mezzo. I did a really funny thing, and she never posted it. So I don't know why, because I was really funny with her too. And so she posted the Mezzo one, but I was like, where the fuck is that? Where's the one that I did? And so apparently it's coming. And so we don't have to go on and on about the Pilvit video. It is very funny, but we don't have to go on and on about it on this live. If everyone could just stop with that Pilvit shit, please.
Let's see. Rainbow Ash says Mezzo's magic stick made the box wet.
It's the opposite of that. The box ironically came out of the wet. The stick came out of the wet box, and I know usually sticks are going into them, but in this case, it flew out of it with the rest of the universe. People don't know science, so they just like say random shit. And then there's Kitten Kills You again that says Joel reads Bible and kicks ass. True facts.
And he's all out of ass, but okay. Artrager says, what was a demoniker, demons or Cabbage Patch Kids? That's a good question.
Cabbage Patch Kids all the way. Like I don't. The thing is, it feels weird to like. I'm being so mean to like out my family, but like we burned Cabbage Patch dolls. We set them on fire.
Fuck, that's kind of hardcore there.
I was trying to repress that memory. Arch Radish, thanks for that. Yeah. You know, and years later, I asked about it, and I was like, "Why did we burn Cabbage Patch dolls?" And I thought it was something where, like, the in the factory, they were like the names and dates of birth of the Cabbage Patch Kids were patterned after some sort of demons or some sort of evil spirits or something. They were based on evil spirits or something stupid. And so I asked about it, and my mom told me that there was actually the factory was in India or something like that, and the guy that was running the factory was Hindu, and he would pray over the Cabbage Patch dolls, like to whatever Hindu gods, and then send them out. And so these Cabbage Patch dolls were blessed by the Hindu gods. And I was like, well, but they're you don't believe in the Hindu gods. Like, you don't believe that those things are real. So there's no power there. Why would you care? It's almost like just blessing them with like blue blay. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just nonsense. So why you have the real God? You've got the real powerful God. Why are you? And there was no answer to that. So satanic panic. We burned Cabbage Patch dolls in the backyard.
Were the Cabbage Patch dolls, were those like what are those dolls now, like boo-boos or something?
Oh, is it the real ones that look like demons with the big mouths?
I guess so. I don't know. I can't remember what they're called, but there was like some kind of crazy thing going on with it.
Cabbage Patch dolls were just like Labubu, yeah. Or Cabbage Patch dolls were just nice little baby dolls. Like, they were just normal dolls. There's nothing weird about them. They were just regular. I don't know. It's just weird stuff.
Yeah, Labubu. Yeah, well, I mean, they're saying the Labubus are fucking demonic things too.
I mean, they look weird.
They're just dolls.
They look insane. Yeah. So, like, I can see that. But like
dolls, like they kind of deserve it.
Yeah. Have you seen them?
Okay, have you seen them? So I do love all the super chats, but I do want to get to this next part of the conversation. So we're going to move forward for now, but please keep sending in super chats. We'll try to address as many as we can right there at the end. But I do want to talk to you about your conversational style. I mean, I've noticed that both you and Mezzo kind of have very similar styles, and it. Mm-hmm. I mean, did you and Mezzo like grow up together, or like you just happened to find each other on TikTok one day?
Yeah,
we just like bro love, or like what happened?
Yeah,
there?
We might be related because he had family in Canada at some point. He claims, but he lies a lot, so it's hard to know. But yeah, it's really it's really weird. We are star-crossed buddies. Scratch and Profit nailed it there in the chat. We're star-crossed buddies who just magically found each other. I was doing live streams and we were talking to a bigot about just his bigoted stuff, and Mezzo came up, and there was a bit of a panel. I had more panels at the time, and yeah, he was really articulate. And then I went into his live. He started doing some live, and I went into his live, and I was just like, hey, make me a mod. He's like, I don't know who you are. I go, you just spent like 3 hours on my live. What do you mean you don't know who I am? Anyway, we became best friends at that moment, and we've never looked back. But we're just like very similar people. This is the crazy thing, that we are very similar. We like the same jokes, the same we have the same ideas half the time. We're subtly different, which is helpful when we're doing creative things. But yeah, we both kind of have a very similar kind of goal and outlook on these things, and we like to do things in a comedic way because we love comedy, and also don't want to take the cult very seriously because it doesn't deserve it. So we do things, we give it the respect that it deserves by lampooning it the whole time, and so that's the way that works.
Yeah. So, and for an example of what I'm talking about, as far as Joel here goes, the wet box is a perfect example of that, because like it's just so casually in the conversation where you're talking about this wet box in a serious way, and you know that there's innuendo there and everything like that. And then I remember seeing a clip from Mezzo where it was you and him, and you were talking to somebody, and Mezzo's like, let me draw out this creation of the universe kind of thing, right? And he ends up drawing a cock and balls.
Yeah, and happened one time. Everyone talks about it. It happened one time. Anyway, yeah. The thing is that, like,
well, that's just one that I
yeah, no, it happens a lot. The thing is that, like, it is like fun to have fun, and deconstruction and when you go through these things, it can be really heavy, and when you're talking to people, they have such bizarre ideas, and they're so I would say immoral, and the cult breaks people's brains so hard that it's kind of depressing. And so it's good to like laugh and have fun with these ideas, because they are insane, and really at the heart of it, it's like, it is so silly. Like, I understand people do these scholarly arguments, and they look over the Bible like it's means something. I know it means something to someone, but it's just like, it's so silly to dogmatically believe this thing that, we've got to, there's got to be some part of the internet somewhere where we're just giving it its due, which is, seriously, it has to be an intelligent being at the beginning of all things. No, it could be a wet box. It could be literally anything. Grow up, it's, I don't know until you have evidence for it. So grow up, or I'm going to say that a wet box started everything, so it's that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you ever have, like, or I guess maybe I should ask, like, what's the rate of which people that get up in your box like realize what you're doing in the middle? Did they ever realize it, or are they oblivious the entire time?
It really, like, for a Christian to like realize it and laugh, or to acknowledge something, is so rare that it is also a little bit depressing, that like, they have no imagination, they have no sense of humor. I'm like, how is this possible? And how did I avoid this? Like, I don't know how I got out of it. Like, I'm sure I've been scathed. I think everyone has church hurt, but but how did I not like lose my imagination entirely? I can't. It boggles my mind. The things that I say. I mean, we saw the wet box. The things that I say, God of the gapes, and they don't react. I'm like, how I say it so many times in a like, you know, we just filled these gapes with God, and they'll be like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I'm like, you don't know what a gape. Like, you seriously have never, like, give me a break. You 22-year-old young man, Christian young man I'm talking to, you don't know what a gape, you're going to pretend you don't know what a gape is. Like, it blows my mind. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like, give me a break. It's crazy.
And what I mean, I have to say that there have been an occasion where I felt like that kind of like subtlety definitely kind of, at least for the audience, which I don't know, do you do that more for the, I guess you would do that more for the audience, right? Not for
the humor,
you know, the person that you're actually talking to.
The humor is for sure for the audience. Like, it's to entertain, but it's also to like make it understandable and palatable. We're communicating these ideas that are sometimes complicated, and there's a way to communicate them very articulately and with a lot of detail and nuance, which a lot of people do, and that's really, really great. And I think that we do it sometimes, but there's also a way to be like, this is the real point of it. This is the defeater to your view, and in a fun way and in a funny way. So it's like that's kind of the type of counter apologetics that we want to do. And so we develop the ideas a little bit, and to make people laugh, but also to get the point across with humor, and hopefully have it stick in someone's head so that as they go forward, they will, it'll come back to them. It'll be memorable. You know, it's not just hearing the same thing again.
Yeah, no, I think that that's great. I mean, I try, especially in more of my pre-recorded stuff, I try to, you know, add that kind of comedic education, I guess, to it. I know in conversations, I get, my problem, I feel like, is I just get so focused, like hyper focused in on just like, you know, the facts that they're just wrong about, that you know, I'm getting better at taking a step back and you know, being a bit more comedic about it. But do you find that that's like an effective way, like to in these kind of conversational debates, or like did you try different ways before that and those weren't working, and then you were just like, fuck it, I just want to have fun?
Well, we haven't been doing it as long as you have. So I don't have as much sort of like experience to say for sure, but we do get feedback. We do get people coming back and saying that they've deconstructed because of what we're doing. So it is working on some level. There was feedback from somebody who is deconstructing, and so we have been helpful, but they were like, they did have to see someone else's live first that was a little bit more a little kinder, like Daniel. I don't know if you know Daniel Green. He's on TikTok, and he's very, very kind, and the way he communicates is very soft, and so that works for some people. But I think there are going to be people that are going to connect with how we do it, and so I think it takes all kinds. But yeah, it has been effective. Is it the best way? I don't know. But I will say that, like, we want to move the needle. The goal is to move the needle and to change people's minds and to get them to see reality. So that is the goal. And I think doing it in the fun way has got to be effective, because it's going to be entertaining. People are going to get into the thing, and they're still going to hear the ideas. They're still going to get those counter apologetics. We still try to make like really good ideas, like really good arguments, really good counter apologetics. And so, yeah, we've had the feedback. It's been working.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm guessing, how do you react, or how do you feel about the like negative feedback? Sorry, my camera failed. Just 1 second. But like do you get a lot of negative feedback, or like is it mostly positive? Like what does that look like for you?
We get I keep on saying we, like Mezzo and I are the same, but we are similar. I get some negative feedback. I get people saying that, like, when they come up, they'll be like, you don't have to be rude or whatever. I'm not always rude. I also get feedback where people are like, you were so patient with that person. How I couldn't be this patient with that person. And so it really depends on the person. It depends on the night. It depends on what's going on. But yeah, look, I want to be the best version of myself, to sound trite. I want to affect the most change. I want to do that in a very positive way. I don't know that like telling somebody off because they said that it's okay to hamstring horses is the way to do it, but I think it's pretty effective, and I don't know what else I could possibly do with that. So, what do you want from me? This guy is telling me that it's okay to hamstring horses. I just don't know what you want from me. Like, I think we need to push back.
Yeah. No, I totally feel you on that. Whenever I run that Mary was raped argument, it usually gets to a position where I'm having to be like, you sound like a rape apologist right now. And it's like, it'll get heated and everything like that, because they really don't want to be a rape apologist, but it's like, but it's okay. So yeah, I totally get that. I did have one occasion where it took a year for the guy to get back to me, but I took a call from him on one of the shows, and he didn't realize that there's a bit of ambiguity in Jacob's wrestle with God in the desert, before he got renamed to Israel. And that, like, I characterize it as, God grabbed his dick, and he was like, no, he didn't. and I'm like, yeah, if you look at the actual Hebrew that's there, like, there's a bit of ambiguity, and it's like his thigh, but it's like, it could be his member. Right. And I put it very bluntly like that to him, and it took a while. He ended up being crazy as shit, but at least I got through to him, like, on that particular point.
He's like, I think it might have been his penis.
Yeah. And there's been a few things like that where people have gotten back to me. I presented it in a ridiculous way, and it seems to, like, really highlight that. And I think that's what you do so well on your channel, whenever you're talking to people, which I do want to say, I wanted to say this publicly, that TikTok that I posted where it boasted about me watching 100 minutes of Joel that one day. I don't know if you remember that post.
I do remember that. Yeah.
That was an old man moment for me, because I did not mean to post that. It came up on the app, like, you've been watching 100 minutes of Joel. Do you want to post
this is
about
so
it?
Kind. I was like, this is so kind. Like, I was like, how supportive this is. It really made me feel like very accepted. I was like, this is really sweet.
Yeah. Well, no. So it was a mistake. I mean, it was a mistake, but
Great.
It was a mistake in that. No.
Thanks.
It was. I was.
Thanks for correcting that. By the way, thanks for correcting that.
Yeah.
Like shoving your whole
That's wonderful.
No,
How much longer is this conversation? Thanks for, by the way, thanks for the support.
Yeah. No. So no, it was a mistake in that I wanted it to post in your live, like there. Like I was trying to do it there, but it accidentally. I mean, I haven't taken it down. Like, I'm not like, it's not a mistake. Like, I'm gonna take that down, but
privated,
kind of thing. Yeah, I just didn't know how it worked. Anyways, so I watched that 100 minutes of you that day, and I really appreciated how you interacted with people. And so I was like, I gotta get this guy on my channel. And everybody right now, if you're not subscribed to Joel Reads the Bible, which I feel like most of the people here already know you, I'm getting that kind of feeling from, like, everybody in the chat. But if you're not subscribed to Joel, please go subscribe to Joel right now. And if you're watching on the replay and you made it this far, go and subscribe to Joel too. We do have super chats to get to, but as far as like conversational debates, I'm planning on doing a talk about conversations, how to have good conversations and all that. Now I'm wondering if you can give like for those people out there that are interested in having these kind of conversations with people, whether for fun or for other reasons, what would be some advice you could give people like to keep in mind like while they're having these conversations?
I think the one thing that we try to focus on, and I try to get my prompts to do this, which is I want to, and this is so difficult, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but like I want to find out what the person cares about. Like I want to know why they're a Christian, what it is that's holding them, right? And I want to speak to that. I don't want to have a conversation where I say how much I know about anything, like, oh, I read this in the Bible, let me educate you. I don't want to talk about anything that they don't care about. So I just want to find out some way. I need some way to find out what it is that they care about. And what's so hard with that is that they won't tell you. They will never tell you because they're just there to do apologetics. They're trying to convince you to join the cult. So it's almost like they kind of want to do the same thing, but all they can do is just go like the historicity of Jesus, let's say. And it's like, you don't care about the historicity of Jesus. That's not why you're a Christian. Like, why are you really a Christian? And so you're never actually, I don't think it's almost impossible to get there, but the trick would be to listen, to hear why they're actually a Christian and speak to that as directly as you can, as opposed to like going and finding something else to talk about that's random, because there's so much you could talk about, but they probably won't care about it unless, they actually care about it. Because I didn't care about the historicity of Jesus or when the Bible was canonized or any whether the Noah's Ark happened. People could tell me all that stuff. I would not have cared. You know what I mean? I cared about the moral argument, damn it. And so like that's what I would have been talking about, if anything. And so that would be my only real advice is try to listen for what the person cares about and speak to that as directly as possible.
Yeah, no, I think that's great advice right there. Because I think that getting to that root of it can really help, sort of elevate the conversation and really get you to, I guess maybe try to connect with them a little bit. Do you try to do that whenever you're talking to like whenever somebody requests up, you try to connect with them a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, that like it's inevitable. I think with humor, like that is a great way to connect with people. Now, the weird thing is when they don't, they don't appreciate it or connect with it necessarily. But there are people that like they'll enjoy a little bit of fun back and forth, or at least friendly stuff. But yeah, I try to do that, but we want to get right. Like we want to get to the point, obviously, but if you do it with humor and you like, if the person isn't entirely combative and irrational and you can actually have a conversation that's reasonable. Yeah. To do it as a human being, instead of like ironically preaching at them, that's going to be the most effective thing, I would guess. I don't want to pretend like I am some sort of professional or that I have some sort of insight, but that's what it feels like to me. Just to really listen, right? What is it that this person cares about? And let's have a real human conversation about it.
Okay. I think that's great. Now, before we get to the final super chats here and everything like that, is there anything that like you wanted to talk about, like in this interview, about any portion of the interview that you had in your mind and you just didn't get it out?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. No, I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. All right. So to get to the super chats, we've got Lahir that says door number 2, please. Is that an inside joke, or are you lost like me?
I am lost too, but then again, I do a lot of jokes and I don't remember them. So it could be. No, you know what? I do. It was from the last live stream, and I don't remember what the doors were, but they both were bad. They were both really bad doors where God was killing a baby in both of the doors. But anyway, yeah. So I vaguely remember that.
Next, Rainbow Ash says, also buttholes are romantic. Okay,
Yeah,
thanks, love
amen.
you, bye.
I agree with that. Yeah, I support that.
And then we got Marduk 6880 who says, for being raised bigot, Joel, you turned out a pretty swell guy.
Well, that's very kind. Thanks, Marduk. Appreciate it. It's not my fault. It wasn't my fault. It's the fault of the cult.
I agree.
And then
there's do rhymes.
Yeah, you got to do rhymes. People remember the rhymes. It's not your fault. It's the fault of the cult. That's what I tell people, so that they feel that they feel like it's us against the cult, even if they're Christians.
Oh, okay, I got you.
It's a good move,
right? That definitely rings true. I remember a few preachers that are very rhymey and alliteration heavy, and so yeah, I totally get that. And then there's based Ashera, who says, I like to imagine you burned Cabbage Patch dolls because of Leviticus 21:9. I can't remember what that one is.
That's burning women because they had sex with somebody or were prostitutes,
okay.
Which I think just means having premarital sex in that context. So yeah, somebody was fucking the Cabbage Patch dolls and we had to burn them.
Oh, damn. That actually sounds culty. And then we got Limited Light, who says, a friend from high school went through the clergy project. I really want to have a stream discussion with him. Apostate Ashley interviewed him a couple of years ago. That's interesting. Have you heard of the clergy project?
No. I think like I've heard of it in passing. Like I have no idea what it is, but the words stand out. So, but I don't have any idea what it is.
The clergy project is where you, if you're trained in the seminary, you're trained to be a pastor, and then you deconstruct or you leave religion while you're still a preacher or a pastor. And like, that's the only way you can make income. The clergy project is something that you can get into, and they'll help you like sort of move out of that, establish you in like a new sort of profession, or just in general help you out there. I've known a few people in it, and I think I'm actually friends with the guy who started it.
Oh, that's neat. That's great.
Yeah. Limited Light, keep in contact with me. I'd love to have both of you on the channel to kind of talk about that, if that's something you want to do. We got Schlake Chaos, who says Joel Sings Christianese is on all platforms, by the way. Yeah, I can't play it so that Joel will hear it, I don't think, but I know that you've heard it probably enough.
I've heard some of it. Yeah.
But it is available on all. Yeah. It is available on all platforms. And then I do have the link in the description. If you hit up that Joel Sings Christianese link that's down there in the description, it'll take you to a page that has like where it's just everywhere. Spotify.
Do you want me to say what it is?
For some reason.
You want me to tell the audience what it is? I don't know if they if everyone watching, if they made it this far that haven't heard. When I was starting to do, and by the way, I should say that on YouTube I'm reading the whole Bible. When I was watching Mindshift videos, I learned, like, I kept on seeing, he kept on going like, all right, they're saying context. They keep on saying context. They keep saying, where's the context? and I was just like, okay, so there's a problem with these videos where the commenters always throw context in the atheist's face. And so I was like, oh, I'll do a channel where I read the whole thing in context. And this way you can't say context at me. I'll be reading the whole entire thing, which they still do say context because I do shorts. But so that's why I started Joel Reads Bible, and I'm reading the whole entire thing in context, and it's fun. Like, it's interesting what comes out of every chapter's messed up to a degree most of the time. But then I started doing these live stream TikTok debates. And, because I saw Justin from the Deconstruction Zone we all know and love. I saw him doing debates and other people around TikTok. And I was like, I want to get in on this. I'll try it. So I got into that. And then I would just hear the same things, obviously. His ways are higher, free will being mentioned every 2 seconds, context again, what's a good one? Trust me, bro. You just hear all of these objective morality, all these like buzzwords and like cliches Christians go to. You were never really a Christian. You just have church hurt. All of those things. Yeah. These gish gallops they would do. And so I was like, what I'll do is I'll just write these jingles so that whenever anybody says any of these things, boom, I can hit them with a song. That'll be really funny. So I created 26 of them for just what Christians typically say. And so I put them out on Spotify now, but I was always using them as in my live streams to just like, get people not thrown off, but just to have a laugh and to show that like, we've heard this a million times. You're not saying anything special. You sound cliche to the point of me having a song for that. So those songs are available all over the internet, and they're funny.
Yeah. So I actually can add sounds in here. Let me see. It's currently uploading, processing. Oh, there it goes. Maybe you'll be able to hear this one.
There it is. Yeah.
Jack. I gotta keep these wheels a spinning. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
If the conversation stays on track, I may need to make a point or state a fact, and I can't do that.
It's great when somebody tries to pivot.
Yeah.
And just to hit that, okay, you're doing a pivot. Here you go.
Yeah. No, that one, and I've had to play these on occasion. This one right here, I won't play the entire thing because people need to go and like buy your album and everything. But this is one I particularly like right here.
Oh, Christian, where was the spirit?
Yeah, it's funny.
This is great.
It's so fun, and of course it's like just a fun goodbye. Somebody drops down. It's just fun to be like, oh, we got a runner. It's fun. And on the link, my regular link has the like to Spotify and all those. They have like longer, like minute long. The ones I usually play are a lot shorter. Those ones are on Bandcamp. So I don't know if people care, but if they want to hear like the short, live stream version, that's on Bandcamp, and the rest are everywhere else for streaming. But yeah, they're silly.
Oh yeah, I bought the Bandcamp ones.
Those are the OG, like those are the real deal. Like those are those are the main ones. The other ones I had to make them long because like Spotify apparently doesn't like 17-second songs. Who knew? So I had to make them all in a minute.
You're trying to game the system over there on Spotify.
Yeah, like come on, leave me alone. I left like blank space. They were like, we don't like that either. I was like, the fuck? Okay, fine. So I just made them longer.
I'll just loop this 5 times. It'll be fine.
It kind of, it is more or less the loop. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. We got a couple more super chats. Gretchen says, "How funny would it be to see the chaos that Joel and Mezzo would bring to AXP or the line? I think it would be a maze-gasmic. Someone called Jimmy. Are you interested in that? Like being on like the line or AXP or anything?"
Yeah, I mean, those are like, I feel like those are like aspirations that anybody that does kind of what we do would have, right? Because like these are institutions at this point. At least AXP. How long has the line been around? I guess it is as well. I don't want to say it's not an institution.
It's been about since COVID, I think. Just, but like right before COVID, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
been a couple few years. We actually helped Jimmy brainstorm the name for it.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, and you nailed it, because what a great name, the line, and what a cool thing, the hang up. What a cool sub name that I don't know if you helped on that one, but the hang up, cool. But yeah,
that was all Matt.
But it'd be cool. I think it would be cool as long as Mezzo and I don't have to be serious, and it'd be fun to do it like with Mezzo. I think to be the two of us, it would be pretty fun. Yeah, pretty neat. I think it'd be a good time.
Yeah, no, I mean, so I've got it on my plate. Like I've already had Born Again on the line, and I want to get the next interview that I'd like to do. Well, maybe not the very next one, but just whenever Mezzo and I can work it out, I'd really like to get Mezzo up here and grill him about his religious past. Yeah. But I'd like to get him up here. But both of you being either on the line or AXP, it's a little bit harder with AXP, but the line I can probably swing something sometime. So I definitely have you on my short list.
Yeah, definitely let us know. I think it'd be
finally
a riot. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
A riot. Yeah, a riot. G-Force says, "Subscribe to Joel. He pays very well. Thanks for the checks, Joel. Joel also has a wholesome OnlyFans account, so go subscribe to Joel on OnlyFans."
That's private.
What do you do over there? Do you
private?
Do you give people virtual hugs? Oh, it's private.
Private. But whatever you want, really, it's really whatever you'll pay for. But it's private. But it's honestly, it's whatever you'll pay for. But it's absolutely private. But honestly, it's like literally whatever anybody will pay for. I'll do whatever.
You want to see what made the box wet?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like it's a really interesting deconstruction kink mix. It's a hybrid.
Yeah. All right. Well, Joel, it's been fabulous having you on here tonight.
Thanks
it's been
for having
great.
Me. I really
the audience
it.
Has been great tonight. No, yeah, and I mean, I don't know if you talk about like your past and everything like that, or how close you play that to the chest. But I definitely pried tonight, deep inside the gaping hole that is Joel.
Yeah, man.
Joel. That's right. Amen.
Nailed it. Yeah, it was a fun conversation. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, why don't you tell people like kind of where you are, what you do, and if I don't know if you have like a set schedule for lives, or you just do it whenever you feel like it. But I just was gonna give you a chance to show yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I do live streams every couple days or so. I don't have a steady schedule because my work schedule isn't steady enough for me to be able to do that. But I do that over on Joel Reads Bible on TikTok or YouTube. I'm reading the whole Bible. This is the start of the channel, was me reading the whole Bible. That's the goal. These are not as popular as my debate videos and my live streams. But it is interesting to go through the Bible, even though a lot of it is reading names. And that sucks, guys. It sucks, but it's good to do it, to deconstruct, to read all of the insane stories in the book. And yeah, that's basically what I'm doing on YouTube mainly. And we're growing. and continuing to create counter apologetics and deconstruct the insane cult that is Christianity. That's basically it that I can think of. Any other things I should be shilling?
No, I mean, I think that's it. The link in the description is also going to have links to the other social media that Joel has. So definitely hit up that link, and you'll be able to get to all of Joel's social medias. We got one more from Gretchen who says, "GE, we'll all be back for Mezzo for sins. Lol." Is the for my sins? Did I commit sins during this?
Yeah, I think there's I think that's just a Christianese thing to say, for your sins. I don't know. I get it. I don't get it, and I do get it. Bill,
gotcha.
Oh, you, Bill. I think it's more of like, oh, you, Bill. Oh, Bill, you. Like, I think that's the correct reaction to it. So. Oh, you.
Okay. Oh, Bill, you.
Oh, Bill, you.
So Joel's visit Joel's links down in the description. Definitely subscribe to him over there on YouTube. Help him build up his YouTube channel from the 14K, because you definitely should be skyrocketed past that. I hope everybody has an awesome night, and I guess I will see everybody later. I don't know, are you planning on doing like any kind of TikTok stream? I know you guys are like powerhouses when it comes to like streams going like for 4 or 5 hours, so I don't know if this satisfies the whole
we do
live stream interaction thing for you. But
I streamed, I did my members only live stream today, so I'm not streaming again today. I do we always do 5 hours. That's the goal. We've decided not to go more. I used to do 8 hours. I've decided stop at 5, Joel. Stop at 5. But yeah, tomorrow's Hump Day Dump Day. Tomorrow's Hump Day Dump Day. We always it's a perfect day to dump the Bible when it's Humpin' Dumpin' Day. I am going to try to do a live stream, but if I don't do one tomorrow, I'm going to do it Thursday. So we that's up in the air. I apologize, but it may have to push to Thursday. But Mezzo will be live tomorrow night on Hump Day Dump Day night, and then if I'm not live earlier, then we'll be doing a Thursday. But yeah, it's super fun when you go live on your TikTok. How long do you usually go for?
Oh, I can usually only stand about 2.5 hours or so. Like, plus, I get other shit that I want to do around here. Yeah, sure. No, it's not really that. It's just that I'm not at the place where you and Mezzo are. I mean, I'm just gonna say right now, like, I'm definitely not. I've been doing this for 12 years, but y'all are way more popular than me, and so like
Stop.
I do the about 2.5 hours, because typically by that point, like I don't have anybody else in the guest box, and so it's just like, okay, well, that I've had like 3 people on, so I guess we'll go on ahead and go do something else. But yeah, it's typically just because I just don't have anybody else to talk to. But I'm getting there.
Are hard. Guests are difficult across the board. Yeah. Guests can be a challenge for everyone. I mean, I've seen Justin sit there with no guests for some time, right? So it's everybody gets. They've been increasing a little. It was really bad around Christmas, but it's been getting better now again. But yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Do you know about BajaCon?
You know what? I think I got an email about it. Is it in Canada?
Did you?
Or there was one in Canada, I think. Yeah. Okay. So I did get an email about it, but that's past. Like it already happened. Or every year, I'm sure it happens.
Well, for 2025. Yeah. There's one.
So I got the one. It's
what is it? End of August?
It's in August.
Yeah, it's in August this year, and so it's going to be right there at Sarnia. Do you know Sarnia?
Yeah,
it's like
Sarnia.
right across the way from fascist land. Yeah.
I know Sarnia. Yeah. I'll look out because I got an email about it. I'll look out for it if I get another one.
Yeah, well, we're going to be up there. I don't think that normally I like to sponsor conferences, but I don't think that we can actually sponsor it. I think they've already got their funding and everything, but we're going to be up there just in case, you want to drive, I don't know, 30 minutes to a few hours. I'm not sure where you're at.
It's hours, but it's not it's some kind of some amount of hours. I'm not sure how many, but it's a few hours.
Yeah.
We drive from Alabama.
I don't know. Did you hear my wife?
Yeah, I hear the guilt. I know what guilt sounds like. I know what guilt sounds like. I was a Christian.
I was Catholic. That's why I know how to do it.
You're a pro.
Yeah, seasoned. But yeah, so we'll be up there at Baja Con, and then I know it's too far for you, but we've got our conference, Rocket City Reason, that's here in Huntsville, Alabama. I do not advise you to come. Do not cross the border into fascist land. I definitely would not do that. But for anybody out there that's already, unfairly in fascist land and you want to come and hang out with some heathens, North Alabama, around October 23rd through 25th, you can go to rocketcityreason.com and you can get tickets. And we've got a lot of great shit. Like surprisingly, we've got a vibrant drag queen community here in Huntsville. And so we've got a drag show. We've got an Alabama barbecue. We've got like a whole bunch of great shit. So
sounds fun.
In Huntsville, Alabama. Yeah, that's Rocket City. If anybody knows about that from, Trump or something. But anyways, yes, everybody go subscribe to Joel, follow him, watch him in his lives. I'm sure that I'll be there watching another 120 minutes, sometime. I'll be sure to post about it intentionally this time.
Yeah, please let everybody know.
All right. Well, I will see everybody later. Y'all have an awesome night. I'm going to let Joel go. I got to call my son before he calls me, and I will see everybody later. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice, heathens. Bye, everybody.
Bye. All right. I'm leaving studio. Thanks